So it's just gone 24 after 5 only on Power 98.7 Power Up. You can still let us know as to what your experience is in the corporate space in terms of working with baby boomers, millennials, Gen Zers. What are you as well? Yeah. But right now we are talking a very important subject that we talk about, but I don't really think we truly unpack because today, well, July rather, is savings month. And we're talking about how black tax or family responsibility tax can put your personal finance at risk and how to strike a balance. So on the line, we have Wendy Silebi, who's the author rather, of I Wish Someone Had Told Me and a banking industry veteran. Good morning, Wendy.
To you and your listeners.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us this morning.
Pleasure.
Black tax. Oh, we always talk about black tax and how it can affect us, but we never really talk about it in terms of savings month because, as we know, July is savings month as a
Yes,
whole,
yes,
and we sacrifice so much for our families, forgetting about us. We paying school fees, groceries, rent, or even airtime when you already know that the pressures are real, and it comes from a place of love and duty. Sometimes it's not even love; it's just duty.
mm,
you know. So how do we in the midst of black tax, how do we make sure that we're putting ourselves first though?
yeah. No, this is a very, very important topic because honestly, I think for us to even call it black tax, it's because, it's no longer coming from a place of love and responsibility,
Mm,
but it's coming from a place of it being a burden. It feels like you're being taxed, you're being coerced,
mm,
you're being forced. Yeah. So I think what we can do to protect ourselves, the first thing is really to set boundaries and openly communicate. I think, yeah, one of the things that is detrimental to most of us is that we are afraid to be open about our finances to our families,
mm,
and so we create this impression that now we have this open tap of money that is able to meet every need. We are not able to say, but this is how far I can go and no more. So I think what's critical is to set those boundaries and taking your goals into account and your limitations and really communicate correct. This is what I can contribute from the little that I earn. What you're doing already, making sure that the expectations are limited. And I think the second thing that we need to do is to use that tool that we all run away from, the budget. For every month when we receive our income, sit down and tabulate all those things that are critical
mm-hmm,
and add this family contribution to your budget. You allocate a fixed percentage. That way you are able to then, not feel you're being put under pressure. In my book, I have a principle that I talk about, the 7-10-10-10 principle. And I'm saying if you allocate 10% towards your family, you communicate it, they know what to expect, they know there isn't more there, and then you can use the other percentages for your own financial growth, you know.
yeah,
And yeah, and the third thing is to educate and empower your family. Teach them financial literacy principles, and you don't have to make them complex, but just for them to understand that there's an income, it's limited, there are needs, they are unlimited. How do we then balance between the limited income and the unlimited needs? And to say, this is what I can only have, and of course, it's very difficult to do that. It sounds easy as I'm talking, but it's very, very challenging. Depends which family you come from, and also it depends on your money personality, which is another challenge.
their money
If you are this,
personalities.
yeah, but if you are this personality that wants to please everyone at your expense, without even saying anything. Those are people that are called carers. They will sacrifice their own financial success. They will beg, they will borrow, they will do everything just to help others to their detriment. So I think that's one of the other things. And number 4, maybe prioritize your financial goals. I mean, you are working, but you wake up every morning, you go to the office, you put up with that boss maybe that does not treat you well, or your colleagues, or you work under so much pressure. And when month end comes,
you can't
you've
even
got
buy
nothing to
yourself
show for.
anything.
Yeah, so pay yourself first. Prioritize yourself. I call it the principle of self-love. If you love yourself enough, you will take care of yourself.
So you say we have money personalities, and you said something about caring. Can you give us another money personality that maybe, the family takes advantage of?
Yeah, the other money archetype that the family takes advantage of is the one that we call the big shot. The one that says, I've got money, I'll spend it loudly. And so probably you've come into a little money, or maybe your income is okay, but then you splash it out in such a way that you create this impression that you've got. If you work for the bank, you create the impression that when you arrive at the office every morning, you open the vault and you take out whatever money you want and you splash it around. The challenge is that when you get into financial difficulties, you've already created that impression that when you've got an overflow of money. So to maintain what you've already created, you get yourself into debt because now you get into credit because you're trying to keep up. So, and what is said here is that our family members, our friends, and everybody, they are aware of our personalities and they use them to their advantage. So I think it becomes important that we also become self-aware of our, personalities and how we use money. Sometimes we're using money to buy love, So, and that's how you find yourself now so overwhelmed that this assistance that should be coming from a place of love is now a burden, and you refer to it as a tax.
And that it is a burden. We do find ourselves in those situations, and it's unfortunate. So say now, I now am realizing that, listen, my life is on hold. And as you mentioned in the beginning, we need to put in these boundaries and all of that. How do we reintroduce ourselves to our family when it comes to our finances?
Yeah. I think you need to create a family plan. Or number 1, you acknowledge where you are. Ne? I think acknowledgement is one of the most important things that helps us to move from one point to the next, to say, I've gotten myself in here. What are the things that brought me here? Okay, these are the things, and now how do I turn these around? The first thing is to, like I said, have a family meeting, or with yourself, sit down with your finances, assess them, and then talk to your family to say, this far and no more. This is how I'm going to assist you. Be transparent, in what you can and what you can't afford. While you are doing that, you are also teaching them to start budgeting. And if you feel you're too overwhelmed, you can't do it on your own, seek financial advice. There's financial planners out there that can truly help you to craft out a realistic plan where you balance all your obligations.
I like that. So now I have my obligations. I've laid it all out. Showing it to the family and them having to be okay with it. Of course there'll be pushback because this was never how it was meant to be. Like, yanungwa chinja. Like, when did this change and all of that? Dealing with that backlash, right? How do we stand headstrong and not feeling the pressure to crumble, even though we want what we want?
Yeah. I think once you've created that plan, with your financial planner, it becomes your driver. It becomes your North Star. It becomes your compass. It becomes your vision, your plan for your life. You've got goals that you are now strictly chasing. And when you do that, nothing that the other person does, no matter how much the pressure is, you've got a goal that you're working towards. You've set out your things. Yes, the pressure will be there. It will be very uncomfortable. Once or twice they'll try and push hard. You have to stand your ground because you know now where you are going. You see the vision, you see the plan for your finances, and you can see, this is leading me to success. So you just need to stand your ground, and follow through. Yes, I think now we crumble because of the pressure, and of course, like I said, they'll try and manipulate you here and there, say things. You need to then, grow a thick skin to say, I'm sticking to my plan. This is where I'm going. They have to come along with me. I mean, they don't get into account and make those transfers. You make them.
You make the
transfers. You stand your ground and say, hey, I don't have it.
I don't have it.
You can cry, you can scream, you can be upset, but there's no money coming through.
Yeah. Power listeners, just gone 25 before 6 a.m. We're going to come straight back into Wendy as we talk about black tax and how it can hinder you with your personal dreams and, of course, the things that you want to do. But right now, let's find out as to what's happening in the news headlines and, of course, the traffic.
Live on channel 889 on DSTV Audio Bouquet. Power 98.7. Now we're talking.
21 before 6 a.m. Miss Dooms, hello, hi.
Hello, hi, Kia.
It's been a while.
It has. I haven't seen you since the party.
The party.
Very cute.
So what's up on Power Breakfast this morning?
Well, of course, the big story over the weekend has been Kenny Kunene and his various states of being and unbeing. So we will be touching on that in the show. It's never a dull moment in Safa. So, it's not very common for politicians to resign, actively resign. So I'm dying to hear what the Power family thinks about this resignation. Is it real? Is it PR? Is it politics? Or is this a humble servant of the people subjecting himself? Kia's eyes are rolling out of her head.
Mr. Sushi King.
But we'll be covering that in the first hour, as well as a growing story that we've been covering over the last few months. Centurion is built not on firm ground.
I live in Centurion.
Oh, do you? You are in trouble, Sissy.
I pay my living.
Yeah, but the foundations there are not so sure. So there's a growing sinkhole. Listen, the whole thing is built really on a sinkhole.
Well, Centurion is a wetland.
Yeah.
So I'm shocked that Centurion has lost it as long as it's lost it.
Yeah, so the FF Plus sounding alarms there this morning, and we're just going to get an update on what they believe needs to be done there. And then, of course, birthday things. The EFF had their birthday party this weekend. Is this the renewal? Is this the resurgence? Is this a stronger, better? Let's go and get it there, EFF. We'll be talking to a political analyst about that in our political desk this morning.
Okay, thank you so much. All of this and more between 6 and 9 a.m. only on Power Breakfast. Tessa alongside the gents as well between 6 and 9 a.m., yeah? So it's just gone 19 before 6 a.m. We still have Wendy Selebi on the line. She is director of Seeds of Forest Training and Coaching Services as well. And we're talking about all things black tax, right? And how this can go ahead and hinder our personal goals. And she's talking about how we just need to be headstrong. We left it off of being headstrong within our plans, within our decisions in terms of rebranding ourselves when it comes to our families as well. Because you may have been that person that gave, but now you're just like, let me give to myself, and this is how you're going to give to yourself. Wendy, do you think it's important to have a financial advisor when you are changing your financial story with your parents, with your family rather?
Yeah, I think it's a great plan to seek that financial planner to help you, because what they will do, they will help you also just structure your debt. And, there are various ways of starting to deal with your debt because, the more you are giving and giving from a place of not having, you are now tapping into the credit space where you find yourself overwhelmed with loan upon loan because you are trying to meet these obligations. So when you sit down with a financial planner, they are able to help you with the different debt strategies that are there to start eradicating your debt. And at the same time, while you're doing that, you're freeing up income so that you can also be able to take care of your own obligations. Because most times, because we are prioritizing everyone else, we find that you are also highly indebted. So when you're sitting down with a financial planner, they're able to help you, craft out that strategy of getting out of debt, but also crafting a strategy of how you start creating your own, wealth. Because when your finances are at risk, really, there's that delayed wealth building for yourself because you're busy prioritizing other people.
Mm-hmm. So just to wrap it up, how do we encompass everything that we need to do to make sure that our family is okay, but we most especially are okay, and we don't have a form of resentment at all towards our families because our dreams are delayed?
Yeah, those 5 points that I gave at the beginning: setting boundaries, communicating openly, using the budget, and, educating your family as you go along, prioritizing your own financial goals, creating that family plan together with them. And when I say that, you don't have to show them your salary, but you can just show them your plan, your obligations, and how it's putting a strain to your finances. And then the final one is seeking that financial advice. And that will help you, to start now prioritizing your needs as well. While you are meeting everyone else's needs, you're prioritizing yours. You are getting yourself out of debt. You are building those emergency funds that you need, when times of crisis come. Because, if you don't have emergency funds, you are giving everybody else. The day that you need help, there's no one that's going to come and help you. So I think the most important thing is that when you take hold of your finances and you do everything that I've mentioned, you're also breaking that dependency cycle.
Yeah. Wendy, how do we follow the conversation with you? Because this has been great.
I'm on YouTube. I've got a podcast. It's called Let's Talk Money with Wendy Silibi. And my book has got all the strategies that I've shared. It can be purchased on my website, wendysilibi.co.za. I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok. Yeah, I'm available everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Wendy. We truly appreciate your time. And I really hope that the Power listener took everything that it is that they needed to take from this conversation. So that YouTube channel again?
Sorry?
That YouTube channel?
Oh, it's Let's Talk Money with Wendy Silibi.
Let's Talk Money.
With Wendy Silibi.
With Wendy Silibi. Truly, truly appreciate your time. And may you have an absolutely amazing day ahead.
You too, and a blessed week.
A blessed week as well. Let's Talk Money with Wendy Silibi is who she is on YouTube. And we're really just talking about how, black tax or family responsibility can put your personal finances at risk and how to strike a good balance. So as she said, lay out your financial plan to your family, yeah? So that they know, you only have 1,000 Rand per month to help them out in the house. And it's more than okay. And it truly is more than okay. It's just gone 14 before 6 a.m.